All right, it is the Unity of Livonia, a Course in Miracles study group. We're special, right? Uh, yeah, I might be getting off on the wrong foot at any rate. Thank you all for coming here tonight, sincerely. And really for endeavoring this journey that we're doing through the supplements to A Course in Miracles. And in particular, I have to applaud the ones that are also here on Monday nights. Because, like, we're into the Kabbalion and it is like super deep. And yet, it's a very interesting and well-written little book, but man, you could get a headache with some of the ideas in that.
Nope.
And then you came back tonight, and this is no easy stuff, is it? Easy, either. So again, thank you for going through this, and it shows your willingness and your determination to get this Course in Miracles thing in you so that it can really help you to live your life more successfully and peacefully and all those good things it claims to offer. I know it has for me, and I mean, I like being a course teacher, but the main reason I do the course is because I love it. I mean, it helps me so much. So, questions, comments. I don't want to go on and on. Anything to share? Yeah. Kathleen, I'm glad to see you with us tonight. And I know you have a busy schedule. I guess we all do, don't we? But whenever you can come out, it's always appreciated. Um, I guess let's get into it, okay? We are, last week, we started the Song of Prayer. Well, I don't know if it was last week.
Yeah.
And we had the introduction to the Song of Prayer. It's for the FIP folks, it's on page 1 of the Song of Prayer, obviously, page 1. D, are you all right with
I am. Thank you.
finding it?
Yep.
And so, really, we finished the introduction, we finished true prayer, and we started the ladder of prayer. That was section Roman 2. And I don't know, getting into it. In the introduction, what is prayer?
Begging from the old white guy in the sky with a beard for everything that I want and need.
No.
Fine, I was just checking.
Just to make sure we're paying attention, right? Thank you, Harry. But I guess more directly, it's this ongoing communication with the Father. It's this ongoing song that we sing to the Father and the Father sings to us. It's this ongoing communication with the source of all things. And that has never changed. And you say, well, I don't hear it all the time. I'm not always in prayer. The prayer communication did not change, it's ongoing. Something happened to us that seemed to break the communication. So prayer is the way we have of periodically accessing it again. When I say periodically, that means whatever you determine to be periodic. It can go from once a week to once a day to once a moment to forever. Whatever periodicity you choose. Comment.
In your explanation, what's the difference then between prayer and meditation?
Ah, at their highest level, no difference. They're just kind of different ways of getting to the same place.
Okay.
Source.
I've had it described as prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when God talks to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
But then they start saying when we talk to God, you don't really have to talk because God knows the prayer of my heart. So maybe the words are more for us than for God. Like God knows what I think I need before I do, or maybe I should say the Holy Spirit does. And what's so
And we're learning that not to entreat, not to, we don't need to ask for anything.
so that takes me to true prayer, which is Roman 1. Thank you, Miss Newman. What is true prayer? Let's see if we can pick out the phrase that says what true prayer is. I found it in paragraph 1.
Yeah, the last sentence.
Read it to me.
Ask rather to receive what is already given, to accept what is already there.
Don't you think that's what true prayer is? Is that
Yeah,
an
so I
apt
don't see a difference
description?
between that and meditation. You know, it's the same deal with, yeah, but you
Mhm.
explained it, so thank you.
Just make me open and aware of what I am, and all my problems will be solved. In a practical way, why does that work?
Because really, we don't have any problems. They're not even solved, they dissolve.
Okay, what I am is invulnerable, unassailable, has no enemies, indestructible, last how long? Starts with an E.
Eternally.
So what do I have to fear?
Nothing.
Fear itself
And where does that come from?
from our ego.
Yeah, I made it in my quest to be an individual, to experience my own separate consciousness. The fall into individual consciousness is the tiny mad idea. I'm not an individual. And I pray to remember that. And it's in that that my strength returns because I'm part of all that is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, love. That's how I'm seeing it so far. So we started we did true prayer, and then we made it to Roman 2, the ladder of prayer, and we had just started that. Um, and we did 3 paragraphs of it.
Can we start from the beginning of it?
Yeah,
that would be good.
yeah.
Thank you.
So it's time for our readers, okay? So Sherilyn White is reader 1. Harry, are you reading?
I can read.
Okay, Harry's 2, Kathleen 3, Ron is 4, no Hilda and no Joan, right?
Right.
And Jim will be reader 5.
Can I read?
Oh my goodness. You can. Why don't you be reader 5 since I neglected you on my list here, Dee? Let me correct that. And so, are we all set with our reading order? That means you follow Ron, Dee.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Thank you. Sherilyn, we're ready.
Okay,
Prayer.
the ladder of prayer. Prayer has no beginning and no end. It is a part of life, but it does change in form and grow with learning until it reaches its formless state and fuses into total communication with God. In its asking form, it need not and often does not make appeal to God or even involve belief in Him. At these levels, prayer is merely wanting out of a sense of scarcity and lack.
You want to
These,
stop for anything there before we go on?
So that's our old way of praying, or how we were
yes,
trained as to what prayer
What
was.
right.
what is the what is
Um,
the old way? Do you
um, Prayer is merely wanting out of a sense of scarcity and lack.
okay, yes, I would agree. Are we all in agreement there?
Mhm.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
ask you though about the first couple of sentences where it describes this it's almost like, is that levels of prayer where it has no beginning and no end? It's a part of life, but then it starts some sort of progression or migration, doesn't it? It changes in form and it grows with learning until it reaches a formless state. Can someone speak to that? What do
To
you
me,
mean?
I think it's how we evolve into that state. It's the process.
And what's the end state?
The end state is where it says fuses into total communication with God.
And
And it's like it in the beginning it has no beginning, it has no end, it is part of life. When I read it as part of life, it's like breathing.
okay. So it just grows and spread and moves from specifics into what Jesus means when he uses this term generalize. Have you heard Jesus? And do this until you generalize it. How
Hmm.
many times have we had discussions of form versus content?
Hmm.
So there's this ladder where you might do prayer in forms at first, starts out mistakenly with what we've been taught. I need this. Please help me, God. I'm pleading for this. And then maybe, oh man, help me pay the rent. Uh, boy, God, one day will you give me this big, beautiful home? That's what I really want, and I'll do a lot of good with it. But pretty soon your prayer is just let me remember what I am and I can accomplish it in any form. It'll be the same solution to everything. It's not specific anymore, is it?
I don't even think there's a solution at that point because you're not in, you're in communion with. There's,
Yes.
Yeah.
And if what I'm in communion with is just completely omnipotent in its power, what problem could I have anyway?
Mhm.
Just let me remember what I am, and it'll manifest in whatever form I want. But I started for asking little bits and pieces. And how did I get those to work? And it grows and encompasses eventually to where it's not a form, it's just one thing all the time. Uh, what do you think, everybody?
I think the
Sounds
form
reasonable.
is the end effect. I think it's the prayer of the heart, what's underneath the form, what our real desire is, and not in form per se.
Yeah. So I may start
For
out.
example, we want a beautiful house. You know, it's not the house that we want. We want security or we want safety. There's something
Yeah.
underneath that desire,
Yeah.
the
And,
real desire.
and you see that when you do get the new house, the satisfaction lasts a little while, but it wasn't the ultimate satisfaction that I was looking for. Maybe it was a specific moment of happiness, but it wasn't the generalized happiness that I really desire, you see. But what kind of, you got to start somewhere. So here, start with this ladder. And I'm going to use the same technique I use all the time. I'm going to give this to you in different forms until your awareness lights up and you say, these are just different forms of answering prayer. My favorite lesson 358. No call to God can be who? No call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. Really? I used to think. Maybe sometime. You mean all the time? Well, then there was this other sentence to the title. That's at the end where they have these long titles. It said, but of this I can be sure. His answer is the one I really want.
Mhm.
So don't miss God's answer because it doesn't look the way you think it should have looked. It's my thinking
There's
that
an old,
got me here. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say there's an old country western song, thank God for unanswered prayers. So
Yeah.
sometimes you get the right thing, but
Yeah.
not what you prayed for.
Yeah. If I left it up to you, you'd throw yourself into oblivion or something. Thank goodness I don't listen to what you say. I know what you mean. You see, your heart's desire. Thank you, Joan. So I just want to call our attention there. But anything else in paragraph one? D, you want to do another?
I wasn't through.
I'm sorry, Sherilyn. Do you want to do another?
Sure, I can do another.
All right. Thank
These
you.
these forms of prayer or asking out of need always involve feelings of weakness and inadequacy. and could never be made by a son of God who knows who he is. No one, then, who is sure of his identity could pray in these forms. Yet it is also true that no one who is uncertain of his identity can avoid praying in this way. And prayer is as continual as life. Everyone prays without ceasing. Ask, and you have received, for you have established what it is you want.
You know, anything there.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'm thinking how quantum physics, this unified field, this field of endless possibilities, the observer effect, ask and you shall receive. But here's the problem when you have a split mind. You have to be careful what you're asking for, because it'll give you what you don't want as easily as what you do want. It is a power that is a gift. It is freely given. It is a latent power. It is a field awaiting application. You know, like stem cells. And if I put them into a heart, they'll turn into heart cells. If I put them into a bone, they turn to bone cells. It's like that. So when I read this, ask and you have received, that's kind of like when I select from the quantum field through my desire. It'll be what the observer expects to see. What do you expect to see?
So, in what way do we pray without sentence 5? Everyone prays without ceasing.
um, I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Help me out, somebody. Everyone prays without ceasing. That's sentence 5 of paragraph 2.
I've got one.
Thanks, Harry.
We're in one mindset or another, either the ego mind or the higher self. And so if we're in prayer, then we're in prayer with
Yes.
one or the other. So we're raising hell or raising heaven.
That's my thinking too. And yeah, I call myself setting you up with that. Harry came right through. What do the rest of you think? Having a split mind, we're always praying to see what we desire. What do you desire becomes the question. And it's also the the slippery slope to hell or the ascent to heaven. It'll be what you want to see, but do you want to see truth or illusion? It'll give you that. It's just that illusions being illusions always change. They don't have the staying power
And
of the truth. Kathleen?
and I think sometimes you have to see the illusion to realize it's an illusion.
Yeah.
So when you're seeing the illusion and you're realizing that it's an illusion, then you're living through your higher self.
Yeah.
Because
And
then you can say, oh, wait a minute, that's not true. Oh, wait a minute. But sometimes you can get so enmeshed in the illusion that you forget that there is another choice. And that's when you have to step back and, for me, I have to step back and breathe and go, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. And we see that. I think we use the example of the new house.
Hmm.
And we thought it would make us happy, but sometimes you have to see what doesn't make you happy in order to be better choosers going forward. So again, Dee, let's go back to everyone prays without ceasing. What do you think of Harry's offering?
I'm totally with Harry. We're either in one thought system or the other.
Hmm.
I'm with
Always.
Harry too. Thank you.
Always.
The rest of you, we good?
Hmm.
All right. Now, who is
And it's a
our
question of me being aware of which thought system I'm in every moment. That's the important thing. Because I'm
Exactly.
going to be in one or the other
yeah, who
all
are
the
you
time.
praying to?
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't even be an issue if I didn't have two counselors, two sources, one which is my source, and another one I made in support of being an individual with my own separate world, my own heaven, my own thoughts, separate from others. I can do whatever I want to do because the faculty for knowing what I want to do, I lost when I split from the wholeness. That's where the omnipotence, the omniscience, the intelligence was, right? Sounded like a good idea, my own separate heaven. But it's messed up, right? It's like we separated from the hive, and at any rate,
8 billion heavens is hard to sustain.
yes. And one wants theirs to be blue and another red, and no, this is my territory, and ugh.
And then if you get it, then you may not like it. So that even adds to the 8
Yeah,
billion
so now I
choices.
don't like mine, I'll take yours. You remember the
For sure.
laws of chaos? What chapter was that in the course? The laws of
Mm.
chaos. Jesus offers some very apt descriptions of our contemporary world, in my opinion. Anyhow, you want to read some, didn't you just, Sherilyn read 1 and 2,
Yes.
and Harry read
No,
3?
I
No,
believe Harry
that's as
hadn't done a
much as
thing yet.
All
no.
right, that's right. Dee had a question. All right, Harry, we're ready, I think.
Sherilyn, are you done
Yeah, that's
reading?
fine. You go ahead.
Okay, terrific. Paragraph 3. It is also possible to reach a higher form of asking out of need. For in this world, prayer is reparative, and so it must entail levels of learning. Here, the asking may be addressed to God in honest belief through, though not yet with understanding, a vague and usually unsustainable sense of identification has generally been reached, but tends to be blurred by the deep rooted sense of sin. It is possible at this level to continue to ask for things, for this would be in various forms. And it is also possible to ask for gifts such as honesty or goodness, and particularly for forgiveness, for the many sources of guilt that inevitably underlie any prayer of need. Without guilt, there is no scarcity The sinless have no needs.
All right, so let me throw that out for your comments on anything at all in paragraph 3. I was a little confused by it. What do
Mhm.
y'all think? It says that there are higher forms of asking out of need. So previously they talked about asking out of need, like even in paragraph 2. But 3 says there are higher forms. Has anyone differentiated the higher form yet, or do we need to
Um,
read some more?
well, my question is, would the higher form be instead of asking for something, would the higher form be asking for understanding?
Yeah.
As opposed of I need a new house. Well, no, maybe I need a new understanding.
Yeah.
Or I'm just using myself like sometimes I feel as though I don't understand why I'm not loved. And it's
Mhm.
coming from an inner place with me. So I ask for understanding. I
Yes.
ask for, even though intellectually I know that I am love, but in the ego part, it's I'm asking for an understanding to release
Yes.
that misconception.
Yes. I would agree. And it says here, particularly for forgiveness. And I know I need to forgive. I want to forgive. Help me to forgive.
Yeah.
And to me, that forgiveness is for myself to see
Yeah.
Yes.
my need for
Yeah.
Yes.
forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's the different, to me, that's the difference in the levels.
Okay.
Before that, I'm
Exactly.
looking to satisfy something in me from out there.
Yes, I would
Exactly.
agree. I think we're
Exactly.
on it. All right, Ron, what do you think about this? You in agreement with us here?
Yes, but I do have a question about sentence 6. The sinless have no needs. I wonder if somebody can explain that.
Well, what is sin?
Making mistakes.
Yeah, it's a mistake or something I did wrong or something like that. Uh, if I haven't actually made any mistake, and would I not be restored to the state before I made the mistake?
I think since the latter is talking about
Yeah.
need for forgiveness, we would have no need for forgiveness if we knew that we were sinless.
Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, you believed in the word forgiveness. So why don't we use your mistaken belief and use the illusion of forgiveness to teach you you don't need forgiveness?
But it's saying it's I think the sentence Ron is questioning is the last two sentences. Without guilt, there's no scarcity. The
Yes.
sinless have no needs. They
Yes.
also have no
They have
no
no need for forgiveness either.
either.
But the miracle is here in level 2, we will use what you believe. You believe I need to forgive to feel better. We've convinced you that through forgiveness, you'll have more peace, more joy, more happiness.
I agree, but I don't think that's what it's. I think the
Here,
sentence that precedes that it is possible at this level to continue to ask for things of this world in various forms, and it is also possible to ask for gifts such as honesty or goodness, and particularly for forgiveness for the many sources of guilt that inevitably underlie any prayer of need. So it's saying at that point, because we still feel guilty, we still have this underlying need.
Right. But basically the last two sentences are saying, it's saying there is no need for this because it doesn't exist, because it's part of the illusion.
Yes.
We already are
Okay.
sinless. We already are in oneness. We already are love. Therefore, the sinless have no needs. If we are love, then we have no needs. When we're in that place, all the other stuff no longer exists because it has no meaning. But when we're going from that place of separateness, of of the ego mind, that's where we get all that stuff. But when we are no longer, it's hard to explain, but when
You
we're no,
wouldn't need it.
yeah,
It's
it's not
none
necessary.
of this happened.
Right. That's basically what that those two sentences saying is, none of this is necessary because we already are.
Uh, Let me offer my lay
Okay.
explanation. You'll hear the word guilt often, right?
Yep.
What the hell are we guilty for? Don't you ever want to know? What is it I'm guilty for in plain language? I'm feeling guilty because deep in my heart, I know I'm a fake. I'm an imposter. I'm not being my true self. How
Yeah.
can love and hate? How do you do that? How do you pull that off? How can love be love and its antithesis? In my heart, something's wrong.
Exactly.
It don't compute, does it?
Exactly.
And that's what's producing the underlying guilt.
And the prayer of need, because prayer won't stop, just the prayer of need will stop. That's what it's saying.
Precisely.
Exactly.
The way this started, if you'll go back right to page 1, right in the introduction to it, it says, prayer is the greatest gift with which God blessed his son. But sentence 2, prayer was then what it is to become, the single voice creator and creation share. The song that's in constant communication with source, and the song that source offers back to its extensions. They're grateful to one another. It's how the creator chose to live, to be dynamic, to express. So there's a mutual benefit relationship inherent in this communication. Another way you might think of it is giving and receiving. What do we say here about giving and receiving?
They're the same.
They're the same. It's the continuous song, the continuous flow from one to the other. That's what prayer is. Somehow in our state, we think it's what we do when we go to church or before we go to bed at night or before we eat a meal. That's okay. Holy Spirit will start somewhere. He's going to take what you believe to teach you not to believe it. Now, is that a miracle or what?
Yeah.
That's the power of my higher self. Go ahead, dear, because it's always loving. It's not gonna, ooh. D, you had a comment?
No,
No?
Oh,
I was just gonna say, and that's why I say prayer is as easy as breathing.
It is breathing. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
constant communication.
yeah,
But the issue got complicated when there was this interferer that I made.
yeah,
We call it ego. So the constant communication appeared to be disrupted through this fantasy I created by trying to have my own separate heaven.
so the way I'm
And
looking at
go
it
ahead.
is that it's really a song of gratitude that goes on all the time.
Beautifully
When you
said.
don't have any needs, it's a
It's
song
a
of
song
gratitude.
of mutual
mhm,
gratitude. So, where's the room for conflict and enemies and sin and all of this crap that I made up? And that's to get back, hopefully, to the point is the sinless have no needs, Ron.
Okay.
So we're back to the same fundamental question. What am I? One has all of these attributes, the other has completely diametrically opposed attributes. One is strong, one is weak, but tries to overcompensate for the weakness through its bravado. Remember that section, grandeur versus grandiosity? The ego expresses grandeur, I'm sorry, grandiosity to make up for its weakness, like the bully, right? And the other is just grand in and of itself. It's not putting on airs, it's not an imposter, it simply is what it is. So, who am I? One feels guilty because it's disingenuous. How are we doing? Who's next? Where the heck are we? Aren't we
We're
on
on
paragraph?
we're on paragraph
yeah.
4.
Yeah, we finally got to where we left off last week. Okay. And
That's o-
so
that's
who
that's
wants
okay.
to?
Let me
Yeah,
no, it's still my turn to read, I think.
yeah,
I just
go
read
ahead,
one
Eric,
paragraph. But let me add one thing to the sinless
please.
have no needs. Using our example of Jesus or missionaries or like the peace pilgrim, some people that went around the world that do not worry about their needs uh, because they're taken care of, like in the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. So, we can pray for the new house and the new car and other things, but the basics of things that we need are already provided. But
Oh,
then, using that same sentence, the sinless have no needs. One of the first things that the Buddha said is this journey is easy for those without preferences.
Mm.
So if you're not praying for the new car and the new house, and you're just okay with whatever car, whatever house, then life is just so much
oh
easier.
yeah,
That song of prayer is just a lot easier to remember.
yeah. I'll always have what I need, not necessarily what I think I want, because what I think I want depends on which counselor I'm listening to. It's tough when you take advice from the insane.
Absolutely. And what was the three faces of Eve? Not only is it an ego, mine probably has multiple personalities. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
like one more, one
yeah,
more.
yeah. But see, that should send up red flags right there. Remember from the Kabbalion last night, anything that changes cannot be fundamental reality. You ever turn your TV on? I always say, beware of any reality that comes with its own music. How many commercials have their own music in the background? Why do they put the music in and go to that expense? Appealing to your natural tendencies, not just with words, but with a whole slew of influencers.
So
Well,
I,
they
Beware.
use
So, uh, s- so basically it goes back to, do we want to function out of fear or do we want to function out of love?
And I have a choice.
Right.
Look at the characteristics of my ego versus the one that they ascribe to the Holy Spirit. Shall I stop? Other
I
comments?
think that when we're saying it's not necessarily but what we want, but it's what we need, I think at some point they
Oh,
match. These two match. They're the same.
okay.
Is no
Yeah.
discrepancy between what I want and what I need. I see they're the same.
Yes. Harry, you had
Yeah.
a comment as well?
I was going to start on paragraph 4. Yeah, absolutely. That's the idea, is to have no needs.
Okay.
Everything you need is
So
taken
let's
care
get a
of.
new prescription.
And
So I need to
of this,
contact the
I
doctor
can
here.
be sure his answer is the
I know.
one I really
I would
want.
call, let's call,
Can
So,
you mute
who do I
Sherilyn,
have that's
Jim?
on?
it's people.
I don't know. Is that Cheryl?
Sherilyn, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
she's muted.
You ready to continue, Harry?
I am
Please.
paragraph 4. At this level also comes that curious contradiction in terms, know as praying for one's enemies. The contradiction lies not in the actual words, but rather in the way in which they are usually interpreted. While you believe you have enemies, you have you have limited prayer to the laws of the world, and have also limited your ability to receive to and to accept to the same narrow margins. And yet, if you have enemies, you have need of prayer and great need too. What does the phrase really mean? Pray for yourself that you may not seek to imprison Christ and thereby lose the recognition of your own identity. Be traitor to no one of you will be treacherous to yourself.
You know, I did I hear someone kind of laugh there at a certain point?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? What caught your what'd you smile about?
I don't remember what sentence.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was while you believe you have
I think
enemies.
so too.
Yeah.
Is this surprising to anyone while you believe you have enemies?
The problem is if I believe I have enemies, that's the problem.
That is the problem. You know, that's hitting it right on the head, isn't it? I must say, it never crossed my mind that I could have absolutely no enemies anywhere. You always come across people that don't like you for some reason or whatever, and that's okay because I don't like everybody either that I meet. And so there's this kind of natural, inherent, expected clashing as we go through life. I'll have some friends, but I'll also have some enemies, and that's the way life works, isn't it? And Jesus says, no, absolutely not. What is his justification for the suffering we cause ourselves when we think we have enemies?
We never hate our brother for what they are, but for what we are, something like that. It's not about them,
So, what does it mean to pray for one's enemies? Why is that? Why is that good advice to pray
he's
for
saying
your
it's
enemies?
not. He has that in quotes. He's saying it's not. There are no enemies out there.
No.
I've met the enemy, and it is
All
me.
right. So, and then he goes on to say it's not so much for the words themselves, but how they're usually taken. If I start from the standpoint that I have no enemies, who am I praying for? For me to stop seeing enemies where there are none.
Which is exactly what forgiveness is about.
It's another, I'm praying for myself. Didn't you say no call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered? And the Spirit says, dang, I'm trying to answer your prayer, dude. But the answer surprises you because it's unfathomable almost to think that you don't have any enemies. Or was that just me? Isn't that radical to you? And yet, that's the way to salvation, is to start by having no enemies. It started about praying for your one's enemies, but what it really means is
Yourself.
prayer that I let enemies go. Comment, Harry. Sorry.
That you're praying for yourself. I mean, you're letting go. It's all oneness. So, when I'm separating you from me, then that makes two-ness, and that doesn't make the oneness that we've got to have that inner peace,
Okay.
that no enemy situation.
Okay. It's a start in the right direction. Just think of it. If you believe in praying, all right, here's the radical one, pray for your enemies. You want to know how to be saved? Pray for your enemies. We've seen this phrase before, right? Where do you first remember hearing it?
But he's not saying pray for your enemies. There's a reason that's in quotes.
It is in the New Testament of the Bible, and Jesus says, pray for your enemies.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
But the issue here and what he's talking about now is how should that be interpreted? Okay, that I know what it says, but here's what it really means. Let me tell you why you should pray for your enemies. Because ultimately, the light's gonna go on that you're helping yourself because you have no enemies and you keep giving power to this illusion. And it is that that's increasing your suffering. He says here in sentence 6, pray for yourself that you may not seek to imprison Christ and thereby lose the recognition of your own identity.
So really, he's saying um, our so-called enemies are our saviors.
Yeah, because sometimes to get what you want, you have to do it indirectly by seeing what you don't want. It becomes course corrections, kind of like the jet from New York to California. It doesn't fly directly. It's a constant series of mistakes and instrumentation to offer course correction, isn't it? So it really gets there by virtue of being off and being brought back, being off, being brought back, being off. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Whatever's going to get us there, I'll use that route. I'll meet you where you are. I'll custom a path just for you, dude. Why? Because everything I do is loving. Next reader up is Kathleen.
Sure.
We're on
Paragraph
five.
5. An enemy is the symbol of an imprisoned Christ. And who could he be except yourself? The prayer for enemies thus becomes a prayer for your own freedom. Now it is no longer a contradiction in terms. It has become a statement of the unity of Christ and a recognition of his sinlessness. And now it has become holy, for it acknowledges the Son of God as he was created.
Do six also, Kathleen, please.
Let it never be forgotten that prayer at any level is always for yourself. If you unite with anyone in prayer, you make him part of you. The enemy is you, as is the Christ. Before it can become holy, then prayer becomes a choice. You do not choose for another, but can choose for yourself. Pray truly for your enemies, for herein lies your own salvation. Forgive them for your sins, and you will be forgiven indeed.
Thanks, Kathleen. Comments on five or six?
I like the sentence 3 in paragraph 6. The enemy is you, as is the Christ. They're
What
both
does that mean to you, D? And
they're
what
both
that
in
mean in my
myself. There is
and
no
what is
out there.
so are you saying the Christ is your enemy? Is that what he's saying?
No, the enemy is you, as is the Christ is me.
Yeah, but if that enemy of mine, my brother or sister, if they're the Christ, aren't I making the Christ my enemy?
No, I don't see that logic
No.
from this.
How about somebody
I
else?
think what I'm hearing it say is the enemy is you, as is the Christ. It means that it's not anything outside of yourself,
Yeah.
it's within you.
So the Christ is me, as is the enemy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
And it's
Is
all
not
that what
saying that
you
within
the
were
Christ
myself.
saying,
is.
D?
It's all
What,
within
Kathleen?
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll stand corrected there. I did want to ask you though, in five and six, you'll see that word holy in paragraph five, sentence six, and now it has become holy, for it acknowledges the Son of God as he was created. And then in six, sentence four, before it can become holy, then prayer becomes a choice. What does holy mean?
Whole.
All right. Do you see how that word fits? Let me read it in paragraph 5, sentence 6. And now it has become whole, for it acknowledges the Son of God as he was created. What's it?
Prayer.
It said before in 5, it has become a statement of the unity of Christ and a recognition of his sinless. This would be true prayer?
Hmm.
Okay. And then that last one, before it can become whole, then prayer becomes a choice. Don't you see the same process of the ladder of prayer until it generalizes into formlessness, into the whole thing, right? It's not just little pieces, it's the whole thing. And so when I can learn to live as love, when
Full time.
I won't have any guilt, I can walk full stride. I'm just not being a fake. Uh, Ron, could you finish us up here, sir?
Sure. 7.
Mhm.
Prayer is a ladder reaching up to heaven. At the top, there is a transformation much like your own, for prayer is part of you. The things of earth are left behind, all unremembered. There is no asking, for there is no lack. Identity in Christ is fully recognized as set forever beyond all change and incorruptible. The light no longer flickers and will never go out. Now, without needs of any kind, and clad forever in the pure sinlessness that is the gift of God to you, his Son, prayer can again become what it was meant to be. For now it rises as a song of thanks to your Creator, sung without words or thoughts or vain desires, unneedful now of anything at all. So it extends as it was meant to do, and for this giving, God Himself gives thanks.
I like all of that. What are your thoughts? Paragraph 7. Any understanding there, or are you confused? It went from form to formless. It covers everything all the time. Now prayer is what it was and what it is to become again. After I get through with all of this foolishness and come home, a home which I never left, by the way, in truth. It's like the prodigal son story. Okay. Um, I won't have those needs to go out and search for a faraway land. La La Land is the name of it. I think that was it. La La Land. Where else would I be if I follow an insane leader? Let's do 8 and we'll take a quick break here and see what we can do.
Okay.
Ron,
Yes.
please.
God is the goal of every prayer, giving it timelessness instead of end. Nor has it a beginning because the goal has never changed. Prayer in its earlier forms is an illusion because there is no need for a ladder to reach what one has never left. Yet prayer is part of forgiveness, as long as forgiveness itself is an illusion, remains unattained. Prayer is tied up with learning until the goal of learning has been reached, and then all things will be transformed together and returned unblemished into the mind of God. Being beyond learning, this state cannot be described. The stages necessary to its attainment, however, need to be understood if peace is to be restored to God's Son, who lives now with the illusion of death and the fear of God.
Wow. Thank you,
Wow.
Ron. Yeah. Ron, you got a question?
No, not right now.
Joan?
Um, how about that last sentence?
The
We live
stages.
now with the illusion of death and the fear of God.
Where are you? What sentence are you on?
The last one. The
Uh,
stages necessary to its attainment, however, need to be understood. If
yes.
peace is to be restored to God's Son, who lives now with the illusion of death and the
Yes.
fear of God.
Okay.
So,
Any of you want to comment on what Joan is asking about the stages necessary to its attainment do need to be understood, but what it is cannot be described because it's beyond learning. Have I got that part right to get us on track? 7, being beyond learning, this state cannot be described. What state?
I think
Just go ahead.
sentence 6. And then all things will be transformed together and return unblemished to the mind of God.
Okay.
Beyond
Now,
learning, this state cannot be described.
So
right.
what is this state? The last rung on the ladder? What is the state it's referencing?
The last state cannot be described.
Okay,
This return to the mind of God.
okay.
However, you do still want to get there. So I need you to understand how to get there. I'm
Exactly.
not going to attempt to describe what it's like. That's beyond your understanding. But if you want to be saved, I want you to understand the steps here in level 2 that will make use of your illusions. Let me give you one prime example that was stated back up in sentence 4. Yet prayer is part of forgiveness as long as forgiveness itself an illusion. Did you know forgiveness is an illusion?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But look how I'm using it extensively. I'm going to take what you made to teach you to let it go.
Hmm.
Because isn't it giving you what you do not want?
Isn't what giving you what you do not want?
Your prayers, your desire to be an individual? Is that what you really want? Do you like it? Or is it quite problematic? You can come home at any time. Why?
Because we already are.
That's a short trip. It's just a matter of, are you ready to come home yet? Remember that from one of the descriptions? Oh, Son of God, are you ready to come home perhaps today? It's a short trip.
But if we're not ready to come home, it can be a long trip.
It's as you would have it. It's completely from the gift of the quantum field in quantum physics. It's the field of whatever you want. I've given you everything. What do you want? And I have trouble choosing because I have two voices in my head. It would be a no-brainer otherwise.
So this,
Everybody good?
you
Yes,
know,
Kathleen.
so my question is, how does this relate to people who say affirmations in order to manifest something? It's non-relatable.
Well, help us. I don't understand. Tell us more. What do you mean? What do you have?
Well, where you see, well, if you say this, then this will occur. When they're doing affirmations,
Like
well,
The
you know,
Secret, that that
yeah,
kind of
it's
affirmation?
yeah, or all the affirmations that you see on well, who's that person that deals with the affirmations for your body?
Oh,
Oh,
Louise Hay.
yeah. So, does that just negate all affirmations, or is that something that you use to bring you to a place where they're no longer necessary?
It's to bring you to a place where they're no longer necessary, is my response.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's again praying for the wrong thing. If we're praying for
Yeah.
the healing
But
of the body of an effect, it's
yes,
not true
but
prayer.
but that's not it. But it's a baby step in the right. That's better than not praying at all. I
Okay.
will
Well, we're always
meet
praying.
you. I
But
will meet you wherever you are. If you need baby steps, that'll work.
so what's the answer to Kathleen's question then about affirmations?
The question is, yes, affirmations work because they're based on the some of those hermetic principles, mentalism, right? And changing the effects on the outside by I am determined to see and changing my mind.
I don't think they always work. It doesn't mean a paralyzed person is not going to be in a paralyzed body anymore. I don't think they always work at
I
all.
didn't say they always work. Listen to me.
Okay.
These things will work to greater or lesser degrees. So if that's what it takes to get you out of the gate, you can use those. But please don't put all your bet on that.
So I think I don't understand Kathleen's question. What's your question, please?
Well, my question is, what is the validity of doing affirmations for manifestations? Basically,
Mhm.
so do you just quit doing all of those because they're not going to work anyways, or do you do them because they're going to bring you into a higher state of recognition?
Right. I
I
see.
am as God created me. Is that one, Kathleen?
Right.
Is that an affirmation?
Well, yeah, to me that's a truth. But yeah, but for some it could be it could be it could be the beginning of like an affirmation that becomes a truth.
There are
I
many
don't know.
affirmations in this course, aren't there?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not saying affirmations do not work. I'm saying to some degree they will work. It just depends on what else, how confused you are. Can you do it sometimes? Are you good at it? Or what are your abilities at
Oh,
doing that?
maybe because it changes our perception.
And if it's a way to start changing my perception, so be it.
Yeah.
I
Any
think
step in the right direction is worthy. Comment, dear.
I think it depends on my understanding of it, just like pray for your
There
enemy.
you
If
go.
it's
Okay.
misunderstood,
Yeah.
it's used wrongly, and you're not
Okay.
going to get anything.
So that's
If
why he said, I'm going to explain to you in the rest of this discussion.
Okay.
I'm going to try and help you understand what prayer isn't, what it is, what it isn't. Helpful things though they may be, they're only steps on the ladder, right? But it's important that you understand this and how it works. It's important to salvation, you see. Worth studying is, I think, where he's setting this up because there are like 5 sections to this supplement. We're just on number 2.
I think this is easier to understand than the first supplement.
I think so too. We're in agreement there. The
Yeah,
psychotherapy was blowing my mind,
yeah.
man. All right.
Going,
Go ahead.
I
Hilda.
think going back to affirmations and saying that they work or don't work, I think includes your ability to accept certain phases
Yeah,
of your body. I mean,
yeah.
if
There are
you're
a lot of
obviously if you're
variables.
missing a leg, I mean, it's not going to go back. But if you can accept it and your mind will respond in a positive fashion, then you have moved up one step instead of being
Yeah.
unhappy and being
If
angry and
if I'm asking for help for my leg and I'm open and listening and looking for that help, I may get an answer that says your salvation is not in your leg.
Right.
We're going to show you how to live well regardless of that. Okay. Uh, there are lessons for you with this leg that I don't want you to miss. So I've been open, and the answer was different than I expected. But if I was open, I might grab that answer to my prayer instead.
So then the direction is always at the level of the mind to me. That's what's
Yeah.
important. Not about the body, not about the effect.
I will step back and let him lead the way, and I will accept his answers, not my own. But maybe some of the things I dabbled into with affirmations open me up to this channel. And it may not have been the way I expected it, but my opening through that got me even more than I was expecting, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, this goes way off subject. So relating that to Myrtle Fillmore and how she what she did with her body and her illness.
And what was that for those that may not
I
know?
can't remember the disease that she had, but she worked through it where it was no longer affecting her.
Yeah. And yet we're not all Myrtle Fillmores, and we can't
Hmm.
offer that same testimony. And it just depends. But any opening that begins to open my mind to a different form of communication, a different way of living, would be a step in the right direction. Everything is not the way I was taught it was, kind of thing.
So when you said that, what I saw was a crack, a crack that just went through and opened up to the light. So it's a crack that opens up to the light.
Yeah, it can be a opening, tiny open,
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Spirit's okay with that. Take your time. I can
Yeah.
afford to wait. Why? There is no time. Once it happens, it'll be like boom. You go, what? At any rate, let me play some music for you and we'll kind of close out with that tonight, if that's okay. I was hoping we get to number 3, but that is not happening. That's because you guys are so long-winded. I just don't know what to do with you. Uh,
Very
let's
funny.
let's relax a minute on our way out, at least. I think we can do that.
Let's put our hands together for this one, y'all. Because this is the one that started us all off. Absolutely. This is before Instagram had 30-second videos or minute videos. They had 15-second videos. We said, let's put Isn't She Lovely on there. And we'll tell you more at the next show, but that started a whole thing. Isn't She Lovely?
So,
That was lovely.
I thought it'd be a nice interlude for us. And I just heard of this group, very popular, as you could see, the Queens of Strings. Queen of Strings. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope this has been worthwhile here for you tonight.
Yes, thank
Um,
you.
you're very welcome. Other comments? You good to go?
Thank you, everyone.
All right. I had a good
Thank
time too, so it was a win-win. Take care, my peeps. See you next time.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.